White reviews are in. Snow White, how shall we say? Data points are in because we now know that it was a flop. Like it was a really, really, really bad flop. Now the things I do for you guys. I went to Snow White over the weekend. I took my kids. I'll tell you, I'm not sure who was more bored, myself or the kids or the other kids in the theater. I mean, they started throwing popcorn in various places. They're talking to each other. No one liked this movie. This movie was boring. This movie was bad from the very beginning with the musical numbers that were no good. They seemed like they were written by AI. It was like, can we manufacture a little Disney song? And sure enough, this thing was a disaster. It only made $43 million at the box office, which is really bad for a movie like this. I don't have the numbers at the top of my head, but I want to tell you, Cinderella, which was a number of years ago, don't forget how much inflation has happened. So it was somewhere around $65 million over the weekend. And in today's dollars, that would probably be somewhere around 80 some odd million dollars. I mean, really? So inflation's been that bad. So as a result, I'm thinking they're really kind of down. That's what all the headlines that are coming in right now are saying. The Disney executives are so disappointed. But I'm like, what did you guys think? I mean, who did you look at casting? You cast Rachel Zegler, who immediately just poo-pooed the movie, on the red carpet, saying that she couldn't stand Snow White and the storyline, etc. You remember, right?
I mean, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
So no prince or a different kind of prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, we cast a guy in the movie.
Right.
Andrew Burnap, great dude.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024.
Okay. It was terrible. All right, so they lost $270 million. And then, by the way, I should add the extra $100 million in the PR. They spent all this money. They had to cancel the premiere. So I guess they had premieres that were happening, and then they had to cancel them. They went out and had her singing in a castle in Spain.
I'm waiting on a wish beneath 1,000 treetops. And as the silver sky stops, I long to leave the walls behind me. Waiting on a wish, holding out for someday.
Okay, that was the big signature song from the whole thing. That was probably the best song in the whole thing. Gal Gadot was fine. I kind of expected a little bit more. I couldn't believe she couldn't sing. She really can't sing, so she kind of talks her way through a song. Rachel is, whatever. She's fine. She's little Rachel from New Jersey who belongs back in the High School Musical, but somehow is now a very big presence on the international stage with a lot of political opinions. And because of those political opinions, I'm telling you, this was a disaster. It was a disaster because it was poorly written, it was poorly composed, it was just bad, and it lost everyone's attention. There was no complexity. It was miscast, as everybody has said from the beginning, but it also suffered as a result of one Ms. Zegler. I mean, they didn't know what to do with her all along because they're like, how can you be ruining this? Spirit-filled, thank you so much. One of our favorites here on the channel. You prefer Alice in Wonderland. You know what? There's a lot of good classics that they could remake, I guess. And, as bad as it is to do the second, to do the remake and to try and wokeify it and everything, if you do that, you got to do it well. You can't just throw something out there. It's really just another example of Disney dumping on the public. This is what they do. They dump on you over and over and over again. They give you a crappy product. This was total crap, and they think that you're going to go spend all the money. I had to do it for work, right? I wanted to be able to at least accurately report on it, but I don't think people are going to go. I really don't, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all. I mean, why waste your money on that? You're better off buying gold, shall we say, right? American Heart for gold, TrishLovesGold.com. I encourage you to go there and check it out. Or you can text Trish to 65532 up to $15,000 in free silver. And if you really want to know what I'm looking at as well, in addition to gold, because I do like gold a lot, go to my website, 76research.com, use code word dollar, get the investment newsletter. We have so much more to get to, but I got to run over and see my friends over at Newsmax. So I thank you for being here today. We're going to continue the show again live tomorrow, hopefully at an earlier time. Make sure you subscribe so that you know, hit the bell so you know exactly when I'm here, and I'll see you then.